I got my first house at 25 years old here in Arizona, and I just wanted to talk about my story and how I got the house, my utilities, and how it's been after living here for 2 years. So in 2022, I got my first house in a neighborhood that I really like, and during that time, people were bidding like crazy. They were giving above asking price another 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 more. So it was very challenging to get a house. I looked at multiple houses. I bid above asking price and I still lost pretty much all the time. And during that time, I remember that there's a house with a pool that I really liked. And it was a small house, it wasn't modern, it was kind of old, and I still wanted to get it. We offered, I believe it was $10,000 above asking price. So it was around 400,000. I don't remember the exact amount, but I remember that we lost. We were like 20th on the list. So what I mean by that is like people offered, I think the highest bid above asking price was additional $50,000 on top of the asking price. So if it was $350,000, they are willing to pay $400,000 for the house. Now it's different. So if the house was appraised and it was actually worth, let's just say they appraised the house and it was worth 400,000, then they wouldn't have to put that extra $50,000. But if it was appraised, if the house was appraised, let's just say it was $350,000, and they say that it's worth 370, then they would have to put an additional $30,000 above their down payment. So yeah, it was definitely hard. During that time, I got very lucky. We found a house that they wanted to sell it as quick as possible. Me and my realtor came and we checked out the house. We sent an offer, 25,000 above asking price, hoping that the appraisal would be exactly that amount. The house was listed at $410,000. The appraisal for the house came out to be $435,000. So I got very lucky. I didn't have to put an additional $25,000 above asking price. Now I got a conventional loan at 3%. So I put a down payment of $13,000, and closing costs and the rest of the costs for getting a house was like an additional $6,000. So in total, I spent around $19,000 to get the house. So $19,000, and yeah, I got my first house at 25. I'm very lucky because the seller wanted to sell it quickly, but also they did not want to sell it to a LLC or a company, because I think during the time they were selling it to a lot of businesses were buying real estate, and the owner did not want to sell it to some company. They wanted to sell it to an actual person. So I got lucky in that regard. Now the cost of the house. Now living here for 2 years, I just wanted to break down the utilities. So the house did come with solar. It was like a Tesla solar panel, and it was leased. Not the biggest fan, but but of the lease, I would prefer it to be financed. Regardless, I have saved an electricity. Well, I think I have, my first time owning a home. So I asked like around and my parents and other people how much they pay, but it depends on how much usage. But anyways, Tesla Solar cost me $75 per month, and on average I paid $75, and this is just calculating how much it's been month over month. Like I did 12 months and did the average, and got like $75. So on average overall with the Tesla Solar and electricity average, I pay about $150 a month, which is not too bad. $150 a month. And then also there were some months that I didn't pay at all, like around May and April I didn't pay, and other months where I paid like $20-$30. But in the summer here in Arizona it gets really hot, so I have to have the AC on every single day for months. But overall the average was $150. Yeah, so I paid Tesla $75, HOA $74 per month, but I get charged quarterly, which is $223. I have home insurance, which I pay $50 a month, and then gas, $25 to $30 a month, and then water, $125 is my average. Overall, my utilities is roughly $420 per month. Now, the mortgage is what costs the most, obviously, but compared to like what other people pay, the averages here in Arizona, it is high. I got an interest rate of 5.5% and the payment is $2,780. Keep in mind that I did a 3% down payment, so it is going to be higher. 5.5% interest rate. I thought it was high at the time, but at the date of this recording, the interest rates are over 7, I think it got to 8%, so it's a lot more expensive, but that is how much I pay. $2,780 for the mortgage and $425 for utilities. Now, I've been lucky that I have home insurance because there has been a couple issues. My AC went out, some plumbing issues, so I haven't paid anything for repairs. It's all been covered by my insurance. But that is my story on how I got a house, how much it costs to live here. If you're thinking of getting a house, just keep in mind the utilities that you're going to be paying, also the interest rate, also the market. Maybe you're not doing overbidding like me. It's going to be a lot different. Maybe it's just higher interest and you don't qualify for it, the house, because of the higher interest. There's a lot of factors that come into play. Just consider anything. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching the video.